In scriptures, the human body is often referred to as the temple of God. Yet it is quite an uncommon privilege for any soul to attain this sacred abode that houses the divine, as it is truly a blessing to be reborn as a human being. On several occasions, Supreme Master Ching Hai has spoken about the rarity of this phenomenon.
To be reincarnate in the human world is hard. You have to have enough human quality. You have to have affinity with the parents, yeah, and with the society, with the people around which you were born. And very difficult. To be a human, you need some merit. You have done something good in the past in order to be able, yeah, to be able to pick a human birth.
As a living temple of God, the human body is fully equipped with miraculous wonders that can be awakened in those who are spiritually conscious and have complete faith in the Creator of all life. Inedia, Latin for fasting, is the human ability to live without food. Since time immemorial, there have always been individuals who can sustain themselves on prana, or the vital life force. Through the grace of the Providence, Inediates, people who follow a food-free lifestyle, can draw the energy from nature to nourish themselves.
They live on the chi, from the ground, or from the forest, and from the sun and from the air. They make use of all that. Or they live on love, on faith alone.
These individuals are known as breatharians, solarians, watarians or pranarians, and they come from all walks of life, from different cultures and all corners of the world. Indeed, the possibilities and miracles in this life as our benevolent Creator has designed for us are endless. We only need to connect within to recognize our abounding largesse as God's children. Supreme Master Ching Hai has lovingly recommended a weekly series on Supreme Master Television to introduce those individuals of the past and present who have chosen to live food-free on earth. May their spiritual stories enthrall you, may hearts be opened and horizons be expanded. We now invite you to join us for part 3 of our program, Jericho Sunfire, Transitioning to Breatharianism, on Between Master and Disciples.
This program discusses the possibility of breatharianism, or living without eating food, and is not a full instruction. For your safety, please do not attempt to cease eating without proper expert guidance.
Greetings, compassionate viewers. Today we continue with our special feature on the Breatharian personal fitness guru, Jericho Sunfire. In this series, Jericho talks in depth about the process he went through to become a Breatharian. He did not consciously make the decision to become food-free. It just happened naturally. His journey to living solely on the cosmic energy, or prana, began with fruits. Then, from fruitarianism, Jericho naturally transitioned to liquidarianism.
I had no plans of transitioning to liquidarianism. I only found out about liquidarianism once I mastered fruitarianism. And then I learnt that I had already been transitioning to liquidarianism naturally anyway 3 years prior to actually mastering fruitarianism. One thing people forget or don't even know about is that once you're transitioning, the whole transitioning process, the initiations overlap. So once you're halfway through, for instance, mastering your fruitarian initiation, you're already starting your liquidarianism initiation.
Jericho discovered that he was already undergoing a subtle process of transitioning to liquidarianism during the last 3 years of his fruitarian lifestyle.
I was doing fruitarianism for about 10 years. So, within that 10 years, the last 3 years of it was literally transitioning to liquidarianism. And like I said, I didn't even know about liquidarianism until I saw it on the internet, when I realized, hey, that's what I'm doing.
As he transitioned to living just on the juice of fruits, the process was a lot easier since he had gone through most of the tough parts of detoxification during the fruitarian stage. This time it was more of a spiritual experience and development.
I did experience the conditioning, the mind games again, because think about it, my mind cooperated with me. I didn't beat my mind let me transition. Divine timing, everything else, spiritual connection, my mind let me. It cooperated with me, it knew exactly what I wanted to do, and it cooperated. But this time it was different. It wasn't all my physical stuff. The bulk of my physical work had been done. The bulk of my rejuvenation, the bulk of my breaking down and rebuilding had been done. The bulk of the whole emotional attachment had been done. Getting rid of the conditioning to actual cooked food had been done. So it was a learning curve, but in a different way with liquidarianism. And it taught me a lot about my mind this time. It was more mind stuff. It was more verging on the spiritual, but it was more mind and conditioning stuff with liquidarianism.
Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Between Master and Disciples will return in just a moment for our show on Jericho Sunfire, transitioning to breatharianism. Welcome back to today's Between Master and Disciples. Let's continue with our feature on Jericho Sunfire, transitioning to breatharianism. It wasn't an easy choice for Jericho to choose to become food-free.
Did I want to stay in a comfort zone? Or did I want to pursue the path and take whatever happens, come what may? I had to do two things. I had to sit down and soul search and decide what I wanted to do. I had to take into account fruitarianism, liquidarianism, everything that I went through. I had to decide what I wanted to do. I had to reflect where I've been, what I've learnt. And I accepted the calling to breatharianism. I took some time. I reflected on what I've been through, where I've been. I laughed, I cried, I went through every emotion. I got angry, I kicked rocks, I got angry, everything. For a long evening. That's how powerful this whole journey has been. It's been like a journey of self-discovery, like I've never been through. I think like not many people will ever go through.
Since he had gone through the detoxification and cleansing processes during the fruitarian and liquidarian stages, dealing with the transition to being food-free was relatively easy for Jericho.
Breatharianism is sweet. Sweet. Because I've done all the work. I've done the bulk of the work. So now I'm benefiting from liquidarianism. I've still got my own process to go through with breatharianism, but at the end of the day, I've done the bulk of the work. And I've become such a tough cookie that the process I have to go through with breatharianism is nothing.
One of his main concerns during the fruitarian stage was his weight loss. However, as a breatharian and with more experience, it was no longer a cause of concern for Jericho.
It's as if everything I went through as a fruitarian prepared me for now, or the future. One day, after feeling a great sense of well-being, and this is in my later time, actually it was probably in the overlap between fruitarianism and liquidarianism. One day I jumped on the scales. All of a sudden I had gained 20 pounds out of nowhere. And I had to just salute the body, man, you know? And it was incredible. So I knew things could happen miraculously like that. So when I went through the overlap between liquidarianism and breatharianism, and I decided to go water-free, I lost a little, but it didn't even faze me. At this point, I was still working out, everything was great. I was bigger than most guys on cooked food.
Despite the fact he no longer consumes food, Jericho's stamina is fantastic.
I would just stop people in parks and, you know, people would just watch in awe of what I was doing, just throw myself around, you know. I would go to a park where I usually work out, and as soon as I got on the monkey bars, people would and just sit on the park benches and watch.
Since becoming food-free, Jericho has never been ill, not even during the transition stage.
Did I get sick as a breatharian? Nope. It was basically evolving from liquidarianism. No problems at all. No problems. I've not had a scuffle, I've not had a cough, or I've had anything. No, not even any fear that I'm doing the wrong thing. Nothing like that at all.
What was it like for Jericho when he transitioned completely to breatharianism? Jericho couldn't contain his joy as he shared his experience.
Oh boy, it was awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. If I had a bunch of cheerleaders right now, they'd be like, give me a B! It was awesome, 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 awesome. You know, to spend 15, 16 years going through that. And only now I'm reaping the rewards of it. I've still yet to reap the rewards of breatharianism, I feel. It was incredible. Living my own life is sweet. Again, you're still going through a process. But fruitarian made a man out of me, so I can deal with that, no problem.
What kind of changes, mentally and physically, did Jericho go through?
I didn't lose any strength. Confidence I had in spades, because I was seeing the benefit of just going through that little 3-4 week thing, you know. Getting through the whole starvation thing. It wasn't really starvation, it was just a sensation of my body getting rid of whatever it needs to get rid of and shrinking back to original size. The changes I went through as a breatharian, of course there were mental changes. My thoughts changed, I was more positive. I had become way more aware and way more open to spiritual things. Another change I noticed with breatharianism was being as light as a feather. And that really messed with my mind a little bit, because it was like learning to walk again, it was like learning to run again. I would overcompensate because, you know, I was just so much lighter. There were times when I would get up and I would just go to one side, or time where I would be walking, I'd be really conscious of how I'm walking, I'm just totally off rhythm and everything. And running would be the same, just totally off rhythm. And it took me a while to get back into the whole, you know, lightness thing.
Jericho believed that to become food-free, we need to have a divine connection. Not everyone can become a breatharian. We have to trust our instinct and intuition to gauge whether we can lead a food-free lifestyle, completely relying on the cosmic energy for sustenance.
For me, Personally, it was a spiritual connection. Personally, I have no idea whatsoever how the human body can go without food, but I do believe that it's some people's natural state. I honestly believe it's not for everybody. And I believe that I have a spiritual connection that enables me to get back to my natural state, which is food-free. It wasn't down to my willpower. It had nothing to do with me at the end of the day. Like I said earlier, I feel like I was allowed to progress, and it was all about divine timing for me. And it was nothing to do with me being inspirational, me being amazing. Nothing at all to do with that.
For Jericho, leading a food-free lifestyle is an ongoing process. Although he has been a breatharian for over 2 years, he still feels that there is so much more to learn.
I still consider myself to be a baby, to be learning. I still feel I have much to cleanse, much to come out. It is still a process. Throughout this whole journey, I've messed up, I've slipped up. Throughout fruitarianism, liquidarianism, breatharianism. And it's always been a process of learning. And then you pick yourself up and you move forward. Even now, it's always a process. Always learning new things.
Thank you, gracious viewers, for joining us for today's conclusion of Jericho Sunfire, transitioning to breatharianism on Between Master and Disciples. Now, please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for Good People, Good Works. Coming up next, right after noteworthy news. Farewell for now, and heaven bless.
For more information about Jericho Sunfire's personal fitness training program, please visit jerichosunfire.webs.com.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/BMD.